What's happening? What's up, Steeler Nation? What's popping? What's good? How was your evening? All of the above. Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement. Welcome. Hope everybody is doing well. Hey, football is back. Football is back. Some of you guys, let me adjust my camera here. There we go. Some of you guys may have watched the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. I did not. I did not even know the game was on this past Thursday. For whatever reason, I thought the Hall of Fame game was going to be on Saturday or Sunday. So I completely missed it. But who cares, right? Who cares, right? Football is really going to be back for me this coming Friday when our Pittsburgh Steelers take the field and we get to really see what's going on with these Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to dive into that. But let's dive into the show. Let me cut on my timer. Boom, boom, pow. Let's dive into the show. I'll let you guys know how the show is going to go. And we were going to do a steel table tonight, but we're actually going to move that until next week. You know, I kept pushing it for various reasons, but I'll get into that here in just a moment. But let's say what's up to the early commenters. Got to do that. Jersey boy. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing, Lanisha? How you doing, Miss Lady? Appreciate you coming through like you always do. Thank you so much for that. Kev, so nice. Sippy boy. Who else we got up in here? Father-in-law Leonard in the building. Joshua Shields. Who else is up in here? Jack Bauer. Let's see who else we got. Dietrich Bundick. BQ412. Eric Walker. Mark Cunningham. Leon Harris Jr. Who else? Derek Moore. Daredevil. Noob 412. Who's been out at training camp. Steeler cards. Who else? Okay, I guess we'll just end it right about there. What are some of you guys saying? Okay, you guys are just speaking to each other. Good to see that. Mingling amongst family. So how's everybody doing, man? We're going to dive right into it. Let me let you know what the main topics are for this evening. Basically, you already see what my main topic will be. So I'm definitely going to talk about the Steelers inside linebacker competition. Seems to be heating up a bit, and I love that. But also, we're going to talk about how good could the Steelers wide receiver group be? And I'm just going to give, a couple quick thoughts. I'm not going to go so deep into it, but just give a couple quick thoughts in regards to what we're hearing out of camp. Mason Rudolph takes a little shot at Ben Roethlisberger. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, the inside linebacker position. And actually, as I'm talking to you guys, I think I closed it. Do I still have Mason Rudolph's? Hold on. Do I have his actual comment? Let me see if I still have it here. If not, I'll wing it. I pretty much know what he said. Okay, here we go. I have his comment. So we'll get into that. So I'm just trying to decide where I want to begin. Let me see. Let's do least important to most important. Well, before I do that, as I allow a few more of you guys to get up in here, let me see how many we're watching. Because I like to always make sure, that I like to have the majority of you in here who are watching it live before I dive into any thoughts that a lot of you guys want to hear from. So I try to wait and stall it out a little bit. Let me see how many of you guys are up in here. About 34, so that's cool. Whoever's not here right now will see it in the rebound. So the first thing I will do, let me again let you guys know the reason why there's not a steel table tonight. I think I introduced it last week saying that there would be a steel table tonight with myself and Kenyon. I decided again early in the day, I text Kenyon, I said, hey, you know what? I know my intention was for us to do it this week after a week of, in the pads, so to speak. But I said, you know what? Why don't we wait until the first preseason game? And the reason why I decided that would be better is unlike during the season. We haven't seen the team. You know, Steelers Depot does a great job. Shout outs to Alex Kazor, man, reporting every night as far as what's going on in training camp, but it's still not these. It's not my eyes. Not taking anything away from them. Steelers Depot is the best in the business. I told you that. But I'm the type of person that has my own opinion. So I want to be able to see stuff for myself and evaluate. Kenyon is the same way. I'm sure many of you are the same way. Instead of us having to speculate or hear from a third party, why don't we wait until we all see this game on Friday? Then I might even do a post-game show. You know, might as well get that started as well. Maybe a quick light one. Maybe. We'll see. But then come on Tuesday, chop it up with the Steel Table. And I think that would be the best. Because then me and Kenyon will really have some meat and potatoes to talk about seeing these guys in action. We hopefully are going to see a guy that we haven't seen in action in a Calvin Austin. So, you know, it's a lot of reason why we should wait until we can see these guys physically before we dive into the logistics. The next thing I'm going to do really quick, and I'll let you guys see my reaction in real time. My wife and I have a juicer. We bought a juicer a while back, and we were doing it for a little while. Now we're back on it. We have introduced a beet juice juicer. It's supposed to have a lot of health benefits for the fellas out there. Apparently it gives you stamina. I don't know. Not like your boy needed, but just saying. Y'all know I gotta do some jokes for the fellas. So I'm gonna let y'all see me taste this in real time real quick. Then we'll get into it. I haven't had it before. You know, the color of it is kind of scaring me there. So y'all know I like to overshare. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about real quick. Ugh. Oof. Well, ain't the best, ain't the worst. Woo. But hey, a lot of times healthy things ain't the best for you, right? As far as the way they taste, but there you have it. Woo. Got a mean kick on the back. Y'all remember Martin? Feel like Martin doing that. Woo. It's got a little kick to it. I think she put a little ginger in there. Woo. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, very first thing, I got to say this. And I usually don't do this. I usually mind my business. But I feel like I got to say this, man. It's very rare that you hear me call out somebody. But I feel like I got to do it. Okay, Eric Walker said that beat. Okay, he says it's great stuff. All right, he says he drinks it every morning. So appreciate the confirmation there, Eric. So yeah, we've incorporated it. What Derek say? Mouth look like the vampires on Blade. So it's very rare that I call out another name, because I could care less what people do, but I don't think I can let this one pass. First and foremost, let me just say, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. Many of you guys know why I'm saying that, right? You know, unfortunate, untimely death by Dwayne Haskins last year before going into the season. Why am I bringing that up? Some of you guys might ask. Let me just say that Colin Cowherd is an idiot. He's an idiot. There it is. I said it. And this is the reason why I always tell you guys, have your own opinion. Don't just listen to the talking heads. I know a lot of people who listen to these people on TV, you know, these media pundits, and what they say is the gospel. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Some people listen to these people and they hang on every single word. And some people have come even in here. Some people have come right here in this show, in this chat. Yeah, what Colin Cowherd said, dog, so what? Now listen, you can listen to somebody's opinion. I listen to plenty of them. I always talk about Steelers Depot, Dave and Alex, and the crew. There may be some things they've said that I didn't necessarily agree with, but guess what? I still like them. It's some things I say right here on the show y'all don't agree with, but I'm assuming you still like me, right? I still love y'all. But there's a such thing as just being an idiot and not being connected. not being aware of what you're talking about, and not having the, I'm not even going to say it was insensitive, not having the wherewithal to even know what you did. So in case you guys don't know, this fool put up a list of quarterbacks that cannot win the Super Bowl, and he put Dwayne Haskins' name on the list. How stupid can you be? It just goes to show that you're just a talking head. And people can make any kind of excuse they want for him. Well, technically, no. You just don't do that. Were you not aware? Okay, your research is not aware, and if they weren't, if you're supposed to be in the know so much, you're supposed to see that and say, whoa. Idiot. I've been wanting to call this dude an idiot for years. You are an idiot, sir. That's just my opinion. And that one broke the back right there, because he forced me to say something. Stupid, just plain stupid. And rest in peace again, man, to Dwayne Haskins. Terrible situation that was. And that is. So, all right, let's keep it moving, man. Let's go ahead and get into the Mason Rudolph stuff. This one is funny. Listen, I'm going to give Mason Rudolph a round of applause really quick. Let me make sure my applause button is up. Boy, Mason Rudolph, I got to give him a round of applause, because this dude has not been shy at taking shots at Ben Roethlisberger, man, since Roethlisberger has not been on the team. Just think about every time you've heard from Mason Rudolph since Ben has retired, and he just continues to line him up. And, you know, the only thing he's not doing is outright saying the name. He'd be real gangster if he would do that. He'd be real gangster if he would say, you know, now that Ben ain't here, excuse me, he's doing it. You know who he's talking about, but the boy keeps shooting, and it's hilarious. So what am I talking about? Some of you guys may ask. He was asked recently, you know, they talked about, and I'm looking at it here. You know, he kind of talked about his relationship with the quarterbacks, and he went as far as to say it's the most fun he's ever had. And I'm going to find the exact quote. He says here, yeah, it's probably the most fun I had in the quarterback room thus far in my career last year. He says, I just get along so well. Yeah, that was a factor. Obviously, knowing the offense, just the comfortability of this place. I think anytime, he said, yeah, I think anytime wouldn't you want to go to work with somebody that you enjoy spending time with? I think we all would. So that played into it. That is a direct shot at Ben Roethlisberger. And the boy has been doing it since Ben has been gone. And I love it. I love petty sometimes. I love sometimes when people are just petty. But like I said, I love it when it's more direct. But clearly, come on, man. This dude is funny. I had to give him a round of applause for keeping his petty. I know that might not mean much to some of you guys. I know, in my opinion, it was still a bad decision on his part, in my opinion, when he re-signed that deal and not go into free agency that previous year, right? Before Ben retired, I think. Yeah, it was before Ben retired. He did the 1-year extension. I thought at that point what he should have done is he should have played hardball and put the Steelers in a situation, bet on yourself and say, all right, at the end of the season, y'all going to have to negotiate and get me back, or I'm going to go see if I can get anything in free agency. Because at that point, he didn't know anything about Mitch Trubisky. He did not know that the Steelers were going to draft Kenny Pickett. And even if they were, you're thinking that you're better than a rookie, right? So I would not have signed that extension going into Ben's last season. I wouldn't have done that. I would have let the contract play out, and now I'm looking at the Steelers like, what y'all gonna do? He retired. Y'all gonna trust the rookie? You gonna trust another veteran, or you gonna bring me back? And at the same time, test free agency, which we now know he didn't have a market, but you see what I'm saying? He should have put the Steelers in a bind. Oh well, he didn't. He leaves, and then he comes back. He leaves this past season, well, free agency here this year, and then he ended up right back with the Steelers. Boy, I tell you, you can't make this stuff up. But anyway, I had to give him credit for his petty. I enjoyed that, Mason Rudolph. Keep being petty, brother. I ain't mad at you. Next on the list, I want to talk about what do I have here? Roster moves and injuries. I don't think there's much to report. You know, I know Joy Porter had a little ankle issue. Also, we knew about KZ had an issue, but you know, I heard today they were full participants in today's practice, back in pads. I'm not sure you know, how the day went. You know, I'm going to, again, shout outs to the Depot. I'm going to go listen to Alex Kazur and Dave's training camp wrap up later tonight to see how everything transpired today. But also, I know that the Herbig brothers were dealing with something, so I haven't gotten a update on that. But hopefully, both of those guys are full participants, man, you know, at least this week. So I want to see these guys play in preseason. I want to see Nick, particularly, that's the pass rusher. You know, they're talking about, you know, he's looking like a mini TJ Watt out there. TJ Watt joking about, hey, man, I got to save some of these moves for myself because he's basically taking them all. I want to see him in action. You know, he's a tad bit undersized, so I want to see him in action against a team that's not wearing your uniform. You know what I mean? I want to see this guy in the game. And also, you know, we keep hearing about Nate, the big boy, his big brother, is getting a lot of backup center reps. So I want to see that. Definitely want to see that. Also, I want to see Kendrick Green at fullback. So I hope all of these guys stay healthy, man, because I want to see what's happening in this preseason game. So I look forward to that. Outside of that, man, there was a roster move as far as a signing. Let me get to it. Steelers signed safety Jalen Elliott, and they released Jamarcus Bradley. He was a wide receiver. I don't know much about Jalen Elliott. The name's semi-familiar, him with the Patriots and stuff like that. I remember seeing him. You know, you watch enough football, you can recognize, oh, yeah, that was the number such and such guy. But I don't know his backstory. I don't know if you guys know the backstory. You know, Minka has returned back to practice, as well as, what's his name? KZ, and I believe Keanu Neal, I'm not sure. But, and then I think Trey Norwood may have got a little, you know, something a little compromised a day or so ago. So maybe that's the reason why the Steelers continue to bring in safeties. But, you know, we're hearing about the Robinson kid, Kenny Robinson, I think his name is. You know, when he's played, his name has jumped out every day. So, you know, I'm just curious to know if the Steelers are just filling out their 90-man roster and keeping that 90 as they go into preseason. I'm sure that's what they're doing. So I wouldn't pay so much attention, guys, to these people who are getting signed now. A lot of it is just filling out the roster because, you know, now they don't have to do the cuts until like the final week. So that's pretty much what they're doing. And if they find a gem, maybe it's somebody that's practice squad eligible, or maybe it's somebody that fights their way on the roster. I think it's a tough haul right now at this point in training camp, because at this point, you know, you're already behind the 8 ball, and you're going to have to, you know, show something in the games, in the preseason games. So, you know, I know, and Leonard, I hadn't got a chance to text you back, and I was driving when you text me. There's my answer in regards to this guy. I don't know much about him, but I wouldn't concern myself so much with him. I mean, we already know preferably the top 3 safeties would be Minka, KZ, and Neal. And then after that, you know, Trey Norwood is probably going to keep his spot more than likely. The Kenny Robinson guy who's competing. Elijah Riley is also safety capable, who they're working out in the slot. So I just think this is another, and again, I don't want to call him camp body because Jaylen Warren was a camp body and look what happened. But, you know, I wouldn't read too much into these type of guys that are being signed at this point, unless it's a major name. Wide receiver group, and I'm speeding through these topics tonight, trying to be faster. Listen, man, we're hearing a lot from these wide receivers. You know, Deontay Johnson has been a little more quiet, but, you know, from what I'm hearing, he's been Deontay Johnson. He's been steady. but more of the other guys have had more of the focus. Obviously, George Pickens is making plays all the time. We are also hearing something that's very important. They keep saying, that Allen Robinson is working primarily in the slot. You would remember when myself, Kenyon, a few others, we talked about this previously when he was signed, saying, hey, man, they probably will be looking to use him as a big slot. And it has worked out just like that. And I'm just imagining and envisioning, a 3-man unit of Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and Allen Robinson. That looks kind of good on paper. If Allen Robinson can get back to whatever form he once was, he's a guy that can, win off of the line. And they're saying that he's working with George Pickens, like getting his route tree together and, showing him how to get, use fast feet and all that type of stuff as far as, beating the man off the line, beating press. They're calling Allen Robinson like a release guy. That's what he does well. And I mean, you all seen him, when he was early on in his career, before injuries and things like that. Allen Robinson was a beast. So if he can be any of that, especially, with the way he can release and putting him in the slot as a bigger body than we've had traditionally in the slot, I'm liking that. I'm liking the idea of what that could be, and him being that veteran out there, a veteran presence, and Deontay is a vet too, but you understand what I'm saying? Like Allen Robinson is probably more of the big brother in the room, right? And who's skillful. I like that. I like George Pickens being able to learn from him and Deontay. And then you got Calvin Austin that we keep hearing about is fast, right? That's what everyone is saying who's been at the practices. That's what the depot guys are saying. Calvin Austin is as advertised as far as his speed. We got to see how it translates to end game. And I'm excited hearing that Calvin Austin is currently, with the mock depth chart, he's listed as the first man off the bench in terms of returning kicks and punts. So I'm looking forward to that this weekend as well. I can't wait to see. Maybe this is a way that Calvin Austin keeps himself on the field, even if he's not going to be in heavy rotation right out the gate in terms of the 3 receiver group, 3 receiver spots, just thinking about 11 personnel. I want him to be able to do more than just be the guy that's doing jet sweeps and stuff like that. And if that means returns and punts, listen, with that kind of speed, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. So hopefully he can do that. And listen, no disrespect, but man, if you do that, then you can go ahead and kick Gunnar O to the curb, and there's no need for him, especially since he fumbled a couple times last year, at least one time, but I think he fumbled twice, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, man, listen, how good can this wide receiver group be? I'm sure the Steelers are primarily looking to run the football and they want to have a balanced attack, but man, I'm just saying, if we're running the football, right, and when we're really getting the run game going and it's clicking, I saw somebody, it might have been Charles Davis or somebody saying they would like to see Najee get to a point where he's averaging 4.2 yards a carry. If we're doing stuff like that, boy, is it going to put a lot of pressure on defenses to have to defend Deontay or George Pickens one-on-one, or even Allen Robinson, leaving him, one-on-one with somebody in the slot. I'm liking how that sounds with a Fryer move or with a Darnell Washington. Yeah, I'm liking the way that sounds. So that sounds kind of exciting to me, man. This group could be pretty decent. They could be a real serious problem. They really could. They really could. Last topic, man. Inside linebacker position, buddy. Listen, if you guys have been following me, let's say since, right around this, when we signed Cole Holcomb, you guys should already know how I felt about him. I really liked what Cole Holcomb brought to the table in Washington. He was battling an injury, but he's been practicing. He hasn't missed a day as far as I know, but we know he was coming off of a foot injury. But if you watched him, I didn't watch so much of them last year, but I knew number 55 for the Commanders. And that boy is a tackle guy. He flies all the way across the field. sideline to sideline type of dude. Couldn't really say, what his pass coverage was like. I definitely couldn't speak to that, but I knew he was a guy who's, anytime I used to watch, because I watch NFC East football a lot. There's always nice competitive games in their division. His name would always pop up. I would notice him all the time. Like, oh, who's this Holcomb kid? He's all over the field. He's making tackles. We're hearing in training camp that he's also making plays in the pass game. So it sounds like to me so far, Holcomb has solidified his spot, right? So we don't have to worry about the next man. Like, we don't have to say, oh, who is it going to be? So-and-so and Holcomb? No, I think Holcomb has established the point that it's going to be him and someone else, right? Him or, him and a Landon Roberts, or him and Quan Alexander. Mark Robinson his name isn't popping out as much. It's not like he's doing anything bad, but what I continue to hear from multiple outlets, not just Steelers Depot, just many people who, are writing about what's going on in training camp. I keep hearing how Quan Alexander and Landon Roberts is doing a thing, and obviously Holcomb. So now you got, the phrase that Tomlin always talks about, 2 men and 1 bone. It's a situation like that right now. And listen, it's not going to hurt to rotate guys in and out. Maybe they're planning on doing kind of what we did last year, with Miles Jack and Spillane and Devin Bush. But I would like to have a solidified 2 to say, okay, these are the 2 guys who start the game, but we got a nice rotational piece. That's not just a rotation. Somebody you're going to work into the game plan. But I'm loving that. And I'm loving that Quan came in and got on the moving train, so to speak, and he's out there. They're saying this dude is like the Tasmanian devil at practice. I love it. So it's a real competition, and they both are thumpers. Both can hit. So I love it. So I think it's going to come down to, how these guys play in preseason. Like, honestly, I think one of those spots, I think Holcomb is probably solidified, but I think one of those spots, the Steelers are probably going to just see how things play out in game. Because yes, Roberts and Quan, both of these dudes are veterans, but they have not played for the Steelers. So I think preseason is really going to be important for those 2 guys, because both of them are going to play. One of them might get more burn depending on who they roll out first. I can't remember who was. I think Roberts right now is alongside Holcomb, if I remember correctly from the depth chart, but it's going to give Quan more time to play. See what I'm saying? So sometimes that dude that's on the fringe has the advantage. Because what if Quan go out there and light it up? Because he's playing longer than Roberts. See what I'm saying? I can't wait. It's heating up. And then Mark Robinson still has a case to make as well. But I think we have a solidified now. I'm kind of feeling, surprisingly, and again, I'm going to hold my reserve my feelings and hold my feelings back until I see these guys play. But I feel a little bit better about what I'm hearing about the inside linebacker group. I don't think I've heard a negative thing about any of these guys so far in camp. That is good, because last year we were hearing about Devin Bush is having an okay day, or well, Robert Spillane is just being his normal self, or Miles Jack had a decent day today, but then the next day, not so much. So far, we have not heard anything, at least I haven't. Y'all can enlighten me if I'm wrong. Have not heard a bad thing about at least those 3. And Holcomb, Alexander, and Roberts. That is good, because I was extremely concerned about our inside linebacker position and depth. So that's how I'm feeling about that, man. So yeah, it should be good, man. Should be good. I can't wait. I think that's about all I have. I will just say this really quick too before I go to the calls. I'm really looking forward to preseason, man. Like I tell people all the time, sometimes people give me compliments and say, man, how do you know the roster the way you do? This is the time. This is the time. This is what I'm telling you guys. Everybody who's watching tonight, most of y'all I don't have to tell that to. But for anybody who might be new to my channel and, happen to find my channel, because thank you first and foremost. I'm always hearing about people saying, hey, man, I came across your channel. I like what you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome. maybe you're one of the people that I'm speaking to. If you want to learn this team and stuff like that, this is when you do it. Listen to the training camp reports, but really watch for yourself. You got this Friday coming up, and you got 2 more preseason games. That's when you get to learn the entire roster. That's when you kind of watch and you can predict yourself who's going to be on the 53. But you get a chance to see them and kind of know what they are, right? You don't have to wait for the season. You kind of can see, okay, I remember this guy did this in that game. I'm going to see if that translates to the regular season. Like, you start knowing what these dudes are capable of. This is the time that you do that. I always encourage people to watch preseason so you can learn these players, man. For those of you that don't watch it so intently, like maybe how I do, but you can at least do that for preseason. So you can at least recognize these names and understand who's who, understand these free agents that the Steelers have signed. And when you see them play, and you can say, oh, okay, I see what he might be able to do for us. Understand the rookie class that's going to play. Understand maybe a UDFA. Some of y'all, all of us, but again, a lot of us knew what Jaylen Warren was last year because of preseason. Remember, I didn't know much about him, and I openly admitted it. I said, I kind of pegged him as a different style running back, and he showed me something in preseason. This is the time. This is the time to watch your team, man. This is it. I think that's all I got. So let's see if we got any fin cuts. We got a few. Y'all know the routine, man. Keep them short if you can. Well, not if you can. Keep them short. And we'll be happy to hear from you. So first and foremost, looks like we have area code 313. What you got for us?
Hey, Sim, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. What's going on?
Not much, partner. This your boy from Detroit. It's my new horn. That's why, what I'm saying, I just give y'all a call. My first time checking in since training camp. And what I wanted to I was tripping on is Darnell Washington. What player do he remind you on the Steelers back in the day? And they almost got basically a similar player. They almost play similar. Can you recall that player? Tight end.
I'll be honest, I can't right about now.
It was a number 1 draft pick by the Steelers.
Ooh, this might be before I was paying attention.
Eric Green.
Oh, okay.
From Liberty. He was 6'5". Remember, he was 280 pounds. He played just the same. They got that same big old rebus body. He blocks just like Eric Green was a good blocker, and he caught those 50-50 balls. Exactly what Darnell Washington is doing right now. We got the reemergence of Eric Green. Only problem with him, when he came to that money, he was like Le'Veon.
Oh.
He ended up getting picked up in free agency and went over to the Dolphins. But if you can pull up his old highlights, you're going to be like, oh, my God. They re-got Eric Green again, just under better circumstances, that's all. But, yeah, that's what I was calling in just to say I'm going to test your knowledge because I know you're a Florida State guy. And my last thing, back in the 70s, do you know the Florida State guy that was in the Steelers secondary when they was winning the championships?
Not in the 70s. I probably don't.
J.T. Thomas.
Okay.
J.T. Thomas.
Yeah, see, I ain't know that.
From Mel Blount. 6 foot. He was almost 6'3", just like we looking at now. But, yeah, brother, y'all have a blessed one. I just want to throw that in there. And tell Kenyon I said he was spot on. I hope his boy Butler makes the team because he was liking him since Iowa State.
Oh, yeah, he has.
Okay, guys, y'all be blessed.
Man, Detroit, we appreciate you. And listen, man, I love when guys call in and gals, man, that, been around a little longer than me and know more of the history because I told you guys, like even just double checking, I looked it up while he was talking. Eric Green was drafted to the Steelers in 1990. In 1990, I wasn't paying attention to who was on it. You understand what I'm saying? Like a little young chump running around. I wasn't paying attention. So I love when guys like 313, Mr. Winningham, even Kenyon, even Tony, they're older than me. So I love when you guys can teach me about some of the history because I'm always open and honest. You get these people that say, oh, yeah, I know that. No, I don't. I don't know. I didn't go back and look at all of the 70s teams that I went around then. That's before my time. And like I said, a little young chump, early 1990, I wasn't doing this thing. You understand what I'm saying? So I appreciate when you guys educate me, man. I really love that. And that's why, again, this show, man, this is a family show. And I love just hearing, I love learning. I love hearing the opinions of guys who saw things that I didn't. Remember players that was before the time I was paying attention. So thank you for that. But man, now that he says that, yeah, 6'5", 279 as a tight end. And you know, they was big and bulky type people back then anyway. You know, that's when the Steelers was just lumbering around. Yeah, so yeah. There you go. There you go. I like that. All right, man. Let's grab the next call. Area code 651. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up with you, Sam?
What's good, man?
Not much, man. First thing I want to say is Quan Alexander is a perfect player for us right now if he stays healthy. You know, we know how that is. But I also want to say that I'm starting to look at some of the players that were brought in, like Patrick Peterson, even Quan Alexander. There's a couple of others where we were wanting these guys a couple of years ago when they became free agents back and forth. And then I'm starting to wonder, along with all the free agents we picked up, is that an indictment on Colbert for Con to come in and just make all these moves, including some that we wanted back when they were free agents before? And I'm starting to wonder if that's the reason why none of these things happen or were they overpriced, you know. Another thing is Tomlin is showing exactly what he wants to do this year. We're gonna run heavy on people. And with this giant fullback, whatever he does hit the field, man, it's gonna be fun to see. But I feel like we're gonna run you in the ground and we're gonna pick you apart, because one of the things he always says when we play these really dynamic offenses or really good quarterbacks, it's best to keep them on the bench. That he says it all the time. So I feel like he's going to try to hold it out. The last thing I have to say is, did you guys figure out about a game to everybody could potentially meet or meet up at? Because the games coming up are all dirt cheap. I'm talking about lower level cheap. And, I mean, it's pretty cheap. Even that Browns Monday Night Football game is dirt cheap for a lower level seat. So in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, it's something to think about if we ever decide to do it. So just putting that out there. All right, thanks.
Man, thank you for saying that. And I'm actually going to speak on that. But real quick, I want to go back to what you said about Colbert. And I'm going to defend 651 before some of y'all even do it. We're not attacking Kevin Colbert. We all appreciate Kevin Colbert. Kevin Colbert was there when he got us a few Super Bowls, right? A couple, not a few, a couple, two. However, we all know that Kevin Colbert, like they would say, he dumpster diving for free agents, right? Always on the cheap, wasn't as aggressive. So in that regard, we can say maybe it is a little bit of an indictment as far as how Kevin Colbert liked to roll. Whereas you see Omar Khan and Andy Weidel, you know, they seem to be a little more aggressive. You know, it seems like maybe it ain't upper management, Rooney's in them. Maybe it is just, hey, you go general manage the best you can. We trust you because we have been mighty aggressive. Or maybe it's a change of pace. Who knows? But we're not attacking Kevin Colbert. I appreciate Kevin Colbert, and Colbert we trust absolutely. But yeah, man, you know, I think the way the Steelers were doing things for all those years started to get a little tired. And then you just see what other teams do, you know, and not saying that we would go this far, but look at what the Rams did that year. You know, it's different approaches, but yeah, I would say it is Kevin Colbert who kind of had more of that approach to relax more than be aggressive. So, but speaking of the game, and then I'll get to the last call. I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. You know, me and Tony definitely have talked about that, as well as Leonard. And Tony mentioned possibly the Monday Night Football game against the Browns. The only dilemma that I have, and I can't break this promise, you know, I promised my son, you know, he'll be 10 this September. I promised him that the next Steeler game I went to, I would take him. You know, school starts for him on the 23rd of this month. And that's probably going to require him to miss 2 days of school. And I'm just not sure if I want to do that yet, that early in the school year. We'll see. But yeah, we had already discussed possibly the Monday night game. But also, I'm thinking, I've been meaning to look at this, and I can say it out loud because I know Tony's listening. I've been meaning also to look for a fifth Sunday of the month that might work, because of Tony's schedule, and his commitment to church and things like that, which we absolutely respect. It's usually better for Tony to be away from where he lives on fifth Sundays. So that's what I've been meaning to do, Tony. If you hear this, if we can find a fifth Sunday that fits when the Steelers are playing, then maybe we could do that. That way I could take little man with us, and there you have it. And then, if we do that, we'll let everybody know, whoever wants to come out to the game. But that would be dope, man, if we could all somehow get to a game relatively in the same section. I know that's going to be hard, but just even if we're all just there, would be nice. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try to get to a game this year. I would like to get two, but like I said, I gotta hold that commitment to my little man, and I gotta take him. So maybe he misses that Monday and Tuesday. We'll see. Because it'll still be warm, so that Monday night game is perfect. Let me tell y'all something. For those of y'all who have never been, it get cold in Pittsburgh, Jack. Let me tell you something. It should get cold up there. I mean, brick. So when you start going to them games after like October, yeah, gets a little cold up there in them parts. But there you have it. But all right, man, let's get to the last call of the night, it looks like. Let's see, who is it? Area code 412. Yes, indeed. We got a Pittsburgh native calling. Area 412, what you got for us?
No, it's me, calling in. It's funny he said that about Eric Green, because I went to school with his daughter, and she was a big girl. But I'm going to give you a couple of breakdowns. This is going to be a little bit disappointing for your boy, but Hakeem Butler might not make this squad. Bro.
Yeah.
He's been having too many drops. Like when I was there, he dropping. I'm like, come on, dude. And then you said that about Gunner, and Gunner been impressive. So, like, they might mess around and keep him. He catching everything. You know what I mean? He shaking people. But I call him a camp superstar, because I need to see him do that on the field. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about the muffs and stuff, but him as a receiver, we might not really get to see that. You know what I mean? But another person who been standing out for me is Connor Hayward. He might be our little secret weapon. You know what I mean? He catch everything. Deontay catching everything, bro. I swear to God, I haven't seen not one drop from him all camp. You ain't read nothing, right? I ain't seen no drops from him.
I ain't seen it.
And then, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Kendrick Green. Bro, that stadium erupted when he made that block. It was crazy. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you read the play before that. It tore me up, because he caught that pass and he trucked the same dude.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
We might have found something. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I'm reading, Tomlin said that they took that from the Ravens, like their big-ass fullback.
Oh, yeah.
They took that from them. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. He might transition to fullback, and the Ravens is trying to use that dude on the O-line. How crazy is that? But Friday, we here. I'm ready, bro. Salute.
Man, no, we appreciate you checking in first and foremost, man, on the calls, but being our eyes and ears out there, man, we love it. We love it, and everything he's saying, man, you're hearing come out of training camp, so you can definitely trust what Noah is saying. Yeah, that is crazy, man. It's funny because I always say this, whether people hate or love Mike Tomlin, right? I'm always having these discussions with people when they say what he doesn't do. And then every time people say he doesn't do things, you hear about this stuff, or you see a clip of something he said to a player in the game, or how he you know, people, oh man, he don't never try to prepare, but he even said himself, they use Kendrick Green to replicate, and I forget what big boy's name is for the Ravens, Ricard. They was doing that last year, using him in practice. See, the stuff we don't know about. That's why I say, guys, you always, not just Tomlin, any coach in the league, sometimes you got to be careful with criticizing coaches and saying what they don't do when you don't know. You don't know everything that's going on a day in, day out basis. We can judge these coaches for what we see happen in the game, stuff that we can clearly say, ooh, Coach T, you might should have challenged that one. Ooh, Coach T, come on, get a timeout. But some of that other stuff, we don't know. That's why I'd be like, yo, calm it down. Anytime we looking from the outside in, we can't speak in absolutes unless we're in there or we're on the sideline. But I just think that's cool, man. Why not? You know, us fans have been saying it for since last year. Maybe that dude could play fullback or something. So it's always cool to see when it's something that you're thinking, and obviously the organization sees the same and they give him a shot. Because, see, this is what the Steelers are doing. They don't want to say that they blew that third-round pick. So they're going to give Kendrick Green every opportunity to contribute, and it can be meaningful. Because what if he turns out to be a pimp named Slickback, as Tony will call him? What if he turns out to be that at fullback? And then it's like everybody's like, well, good job, Steelers. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. I just think about the combinations that the Steelers can throw at you, right? This might not seem like much, but imagine this, right? We get on the goal line. We go semi-heavy. You put Kendrick Green at fullback, Najee in the backfield. Split out Connor Haywood, right? Maybe you split out. How nasty would this be? You put Connor Haywood kind of like the H-back, kind of spot. Maybe you throw Donnell Washington out there and then Pickens. And some people say, oh, you're going to take Deontay off the field. I'm just saying, I'm giving them different looks. You got a big giant in Donnell Washington. You got a dude in Connor Haywood who's catching everything and, shifty enough to run routes against another jumbo set, a defensive big set. He's a matchup nightmare for somebody. And then you got the threat of the run because you got Kendrick Green at fullback. Just think about that from a defense. You looking at what they about to run. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're going to pass or they're going to run. They probably going to run because they brought Big Boy in there. And then we throw that thing. We throw it to a Connor Haywood who beats the linebacker. Or Donnell Washington. Or Pickens, who now is in a one-on-one at the goal. See what I'm saying? I just hope that Matt Canada's thinking this way. Like, so many combination of players. What about running some pony action, right, with two backs? What about splitting out like Najee, Jalen in the backfield, and then also lining up like Austin in the slot? Like, you could completely confuse. We can go quick. We can go like a quick set where it's little quick guys. Deontay, Warren, Calvin Austin, and then let's say Connor Haywood, and then you put Najee in the back. Man, don't get me started. I will go straight video game on them just to see what works. And that's the beauty of it, man. That's some offensive coordinators know how to utilize all of their personnel. That's why I will give Andy Reid and Bieniemy credit. It's not just that they run them crazy plays, but think about when you watch Kansas City, sometimes who scored. You like, oh, I forgot they even had this cat. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, bro. Matt Canada could get crazy with it. And I'm hoping that that's what he's thinking. Excuse me. Give me a second, guys. Just checking. My wife had it out a little while ago. I'm just checking the cameras. Thought I heard something. No, we good. I'm down here in the steel basement. Got to make sure the house is secure. But yeah, man, what you guys got? That's about all I got, man. I'm looking forward to Friday. man, to get some Steeler action. And like I said, more than likely, I'm planning to do a little quick post-game show, man, because we might as well start getting in the swing of things. I mean, then once the season starts, y'all know it's post-game, terrible towel, and then pre-game. I'm going to try to commit to that pre-game a little more this year. I know last year I was playing around and I couldn't commit to it, but I'm going to try to commit to that thing, man. And what my goal is going to be is I do it on Friday nights, and basically after the last injury report. So we'll see how that goes. I really want to get more content out. I really want to get more content out for you guys who pay for the channel. You guys know when the season starts, it's that all 22 action, and I'm hoping we get preseason all 22 this year. Hope we do. NFL Game Pass just sent me something saying they were extending my membership for free, like an extra 30 days or something. So I'm hoping preseason comes with that. If so, then you guys know y'all are going to get your video as well. The behind the curtain, video where we're looking at film. I just don't post that publicly. It's only visible to those who are members of the channel. Here's something else I think I'm going to throw at you guys as well. I know you guys know I game. I think I'm going to start doing some gaming things and just letting you guys see it. Because some of the stuff that I do, it doesn't get a lot of traction on this channel. It's just the way the YouTube algorithm works. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Some of that stuff I like to do as a creator, it takes a lot of time. So when it doesn't get any type of viewership, it's like, so I think even though I still like the game and stream, I think I'm going to start throwing that as custom content for you guys as well, because some of y'all enjoy that. So you guys who are members of the channel will be getting a lot of exclusive content coming your way. But other than that, man, what do y'all got? I'll spend a few moments here. Look, I finished really fast tonight. Look at that. I got about 9 minutes left. Probably won't utilize the whole 9, but let me see what y'all got. Who y'all talking about? Tony talking about Boomer Esiason. Boy, Kenyon, you better go ahead with man, oh man. In another life, we could have did a podcast off of that topic. My goodness. My goodness. That's all I'm going to say. My Lord. That's all y'all going to get. That's just a cliffhanger. I'm not even going to allude to what we are talking about. But man. Slow motion for me. Man. What y'all got? Nobe says, yeah, that's why I said they're gonna have him doing it all. Kendrick will be on them short yardages. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Still as you said, Kendrick Green for president. Man, it would be quite a rebound for that kid, man, as much as we all beat him up. What else y'all got? Pittsburgh Toddy, what's up? Who wants to see Kendrick Green flatten Garrett? Oh, man, I would love it. I'd like to see him do one of them. Look, I'm going to be honest. And even though it happened against us, sometimes you just got to appreciate when things, aggressiveness on the football field. Y'all know how I told y'all as a running back, I love a running back's mentality. Y'all remember when Leonard Fournette did like this to Mike Mitchell? Y'all remember that? Yo, even though it was against us, yo, say something in the chat if y'all remember that. Y'all remember that? Fournette came through and was like, yo, you come here. Dog, loved it. I would love to see Kendrick Green do one of them, even though he probably would get a flag thrown on him. But I would love to see him come through the lane and just be like, yo, I'm coming right at you. But y'all remember when Fournette did that to Mike Mitchell? Woo! I couldn't hate it, dog. I could not hate it. I was like, oh, he a man out there. I loved it. Let's see. Jay Underrated says, hope David Perales has an underrated good game. Yeah, man, from what we're hearing, he needs it. He needs it. You know, his name is not popping at all. He definitely needs something good to happen. Jersey Boy said this might be a blessing for KG that early rookie retired. Yeah. What was his name? Monty Potterbaum. Isn't that crazy? 3 days in. Wow. You know, clearly he has something else, man, on his mind. So, you know, God bless him. But yeah, maybe, hey, this might have been, you know, if Kendrick Green was on his knees praying, that might have been the prayer answered right there. What else y'all got? What else y'all got, man? Few more minutes. Yeah, Fournette. Yo, that was dog. I'm telling you, I remember moments like that. Even if it ain't our team. Just, man, Leonard Fournette earned my respect right there. Sure did. Vince Williams was talking about that. Sure was. Just like guys like Robert Spillane, I'm always going to have respect for him because of how he stood up Derrick Henry. Hurt his shoulder. But listen, he won't no pump. You know what I mean? He won't no pump. You might have took the brunt of it. You stood him up. You stood your ground and you earned my respect. He will always be Robert Spillane. He'll never be number so-and-so. To me, he will always be referred to as Robert Spillane for that one moment alone. Earn my respect. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bus running over Urlacher. You can't forget that one either. My Lord, yeah, Kenya, man. Just seeing the highlights of Earl Campbell run through his jersey. What else y'all got, man? Anything else about the team? What are y'all looking forward to? Let me ask y'all that. I guess I am going to be here the whole time. What are y'all looking forward to on Friday, man? What are some of the things you guys are looking forward to the most in the first preseason game? Who do you want to see from the most? What do you who do you want to see shine? Who do you think might disappoint you? All of the above. What are you looking the most forward to in the upcoming preseason game? Yeah, Kenyon, right? I'm just looking forward to see us play. Calvin Austin, yep. Calvin Austin is high on my list as well. Joy Porter is high on my list, but I got a feel for, I think Joy Porter is going to be as advertised, man. I think he's going to be a physical press corner the way he was in college. Again, even though George Pickens made that ridiculous catch on him, if you go back and really look at that play, that was excellent coverage, right? That's what I need to see out of Joy Porter when he's in that man situation, being that close and using his, like he pressed him. He had his hand on him for at least 6 yards. Might have been a yard too many, but you know what I'm saying? Get your hands on him and make it tough. If he can do that, that's what I'm talking about. Broderick Jones, okay, yeah, I want to see how he handles himself. Yes, Jay Underrated. Nick Herbig. Absolutely, Nick Herbig. Definitely Darnell Washington. Keanu Benton. That's another guy that, and Noel probably could tell us, his name hasn't been said a lot in camp, but from what I'm hearing, he hasn't done anything spectacular, but he hasn't done anything bad and has made some plays in the run game. So some of these guys, man, we just got to see them. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes, maybe practice isn't translating. I mean, listen, for any of you guys who ever played sports, haven't y'all played sports with dudes that the switch turns on when they in the game? You know what I'm saying? Some dudes just always was always on. And I was that type of guy. I practiced the way I play. I was always full steam ahead. But there were some dudes that seemed like when the lights was on, they just, they just pop into it. And they're a whole different breed. So maybe we see some of that as well. So I'm not gonna discount somebody in practice not doing that great. I won't really dive into them like that until we see them in game and it's the same. So that's kind of where I reserve my judgment. Somebody said they want to see Najee. Okay, might not see much of Najee on Friday. I'm thinking the starters might play a series, if that. We'll see. What else y'all want to see? Yeah, me too. Hill, Antoine, Antoine. I wanted to see. It's too bad about Trice, man. Might just be one of those guys, man. He's injury prone. Leon says, I want to see how much Kenny Pickett has improved. Okay. Again, I would temper your expectations, guys. We might not see a lot out of those guys in game one. And again, if you see a drive with Kenny Pickett or whoever else, whether they do good or bad, that's not enough for us to judge them. Listen, it's preseason. You understand what I'm saying? If it's one drive, that might not be enough to say where they have improved, where they haven't. Even if they do well, that might not be enough to say, oh, see, I told. That ain't enough. That sample size is too small. I hear Kenny has been making some plays in preseason. I mean, in training camp. What was that? I heard some talking. I think that was Siri. What else y'all got? Absolutely, Kenya. Some ain't built for it, man. Let's see. Nobe says, oh, I forgot to mention Anthony McFarland has probably been the most impressive player in camp. Yes, I forgot to talk about McFarland. And see, you know what, Nobe? I'm looking forward to seeing him in game. Because Anthony McFarland is one of those dudes, man. And Kenyon and I have been waiting for him to come on for a while now. I think he has the goods, but we'll see. I got to see it in game. We saw small flashes of him, but now with him seemingly being the number 3, we're going to see a lot more out of him in preseason. And I think the intention was to use him more last year when he was available. And we saw it a little bit. So we'll see. I think it's going to be hard for him to overtake a guy like Warren, because Warren showed us last year that even though he's smaller in stature, he's stocky. He was pretty good in pass protection, and he ended up being the third down back. Y'all remember that at times? And not to say that he was so much better than Najee, because Najee can pass protect too, but I think it'll be hard for McFarland to overtake Jaylen Warren. But I am definitely looking for, because listen, man, if we can have a 3-headed monster, dog, I'm telling you, if these guys can pan out the way we want them to pan out, and Matt Canada goes to his college mentality and just start using guys in different packages, Steelers could be interesting on offense, man. They could be very interesting. Yes, he does, Kenyon. He needs to play well. He needs to play well in a game-like setting. There's something to be said when a veteran is shining in camp. But can you shine that way in the game? That's what we need to see. That's what we have to see. But all right, man, I think I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. I had a great time tonight. Man, always love coming to speak to you guys, but definitely knowing that we got a game on the horizon. We got some real meat to talk about. Like I said, it's a Friday night game. I plan to do a post-game show following the game. Probably won't be too long. I'm probably not gonna do what I would do for a normal game and chart every single. I'll just make notes. I'll make notes when certain things catch my eye. Let's talk about that. So I'm just preparing you guys in advance. It'll be a more condensed version. The longer versions would be, when the season starts. But I definitely want to. Hopefully, there's something for me to rush to talk about that we all can be excited about. And again, I don't care about the winning and losing in preseason. I just want to see how guys are performing. And if you do win, then a lot of times that means as a whole, the collective unit was playing well. So we'll see. But yeah, man, come on right back here after the game. We'll chop it up for a little bit. And hopefully we have something great to talk about in terms of what player did what. And hope these guys stay healthy. But outside of that, y'all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to remind you guys, if you haven't, just hit the like button, man. It don't hurt you to hit the like button. It don't hurt you to subscribe. It don't hurt you to cut on the notifications, please. That's the least you can do to help me out. That doesn't cost no money. That's the least amount of donation you can do is just do this. Click up, click up, click up. That's all I need you to do. Go ahead, Kenya. See, go Kenya. Boy, man. But anyway, man, you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Shall talk to you guys Friday evening. And yeah, keep your ear to the street. If any wild news happens before then, I'll be back to just give a quick account of whatever that thing is. Catch you guys later. Like always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.